I've been going to a lot of political events and protests recently, generally, usually specifically about lockdowns or the election. Um, I'll just leave it at election. And I think that it's really great. I really, my wife actually got me into going, and I really felt good about going to them and felt like it was important for me to go to events like that. And I think that people in general, it's good for them, people who are patriots and who want to stand up and save, the republic from what it might end up being like, or what it seems like it's the path that it seems to be going down. Um, and I've been doing some work in Huntington Beach, California, recently, and there's a anti-lockdown or curfew protest there every Saturday, and it feels really good to be there. It's good to see that a lot of people go, but it just seems to me that there could be something that maybe we could do that would be more effective. And everyone knows that, or a lot of people are aware that small businesses have really been hurt the most by these authoritarian lockdowns, and even more specifically, restaurants and seem to have been hit really the worst. And I came up with an idea that I think could be effective in helping to save small businesses, or at least help them out, as well as helping to put our foot down as patriots and as Americans to resist the authoritarian measures that a lot of local governments and federal government has been doing. So I'm calling the campaign the Dinner for Schmucks. I actually was just I had a video open from a scene from Dinner for Schmucks that I would show my wife, and I thought it just really fit this idea, this plan that I hope that many people around the country would participate in, and hopefully, if enough people do it, we could really help save America. I think that it could be very effective. So basically, when I was out there in Huntington Beach, standing around with people with signs and flags and all that, past curfew, which was 10 p.m. there, the businesses, the restaurants down Main Street in Huntington Beach had already been shut down or closed, and even beyond that, they weren't even able to have customers inside. They have these little outdoor seating areas on the road that's closed off because it's like a little Main Street kind of area, and there's tables and chairs outside, and they're serving people at the door of the restaurant. And there's a couple that my friends and I frequent, and we talked to the owners, and they are very fed up with the lockdowns and the curfews and not being able to serve their customers like they normally would. And I just thought, what if we can get these protesters who are there at the end of they're protesting the lockdowns, what if we can partner or get the restaurant owners on board with the protest and stay open past curfew, and have the protesters fill up the restaurants, patronize their businesses, and stay open past curfew, no masks, and really be defiant to the lockdown measures. So basically, the way that I see that it could work, it would be really good to get this idea to, if you participate in any kind of protests or events or frequent those, or if you know anybody who organizes events like that. Also maybe like anti-maskers clubs, or anti-mask shopping groups would be great to do this. And sort of kind of like put together sort of like a little, like sort of kind of step-by-step process of how it might be done that people could maybe implement. So I would just suggest finding like either your favorite restaurant that you like to go to already, or just one, maybe if you know anybody who owns a restaurant or any popular one, or anyone that you know that might be struggling. Call them up or email them, get in touch with the owner or manager somehow, and just sort of ask them if they would be interested in hosting an event. Well, I guess first you would have to, you should ask them if they are fed up with like what's been going on, which I'm sure they probably are. So it might be kind of good to probe them a little bit like that to kind of get an idea of where they sort of stand on the political spectrum, because some of them might be like, yeah, it's really good that we have masks, and I'm really worried about, the kung flu and people who aren't dying. And if they are, then it might be good to not, continue the conversation further or mention this sort of idea, for fear that they might just like, rat you out like a good KGB or a good Soviet comrade. But if you sort of can talk to them and feel them out and see that they are fed up with the lockdowns, then sort of pitch the idea and say, hey, would you be interested in having me and my friends, potentially our group of people who are equally fed up with the lockdowns, come and patronize your business at a time where it's maybe after your regular hours would be, where they can lock the door. Everybody can go in, they can lock the door, no masks, and just, live life like we used to not too long ago. That seems like it's a far gone time for us. And if they are, then ask them what the capacity of the restaurant is, because ideally, if possible, if you can get together enough people to fill the whole restaurant up, fill every seat, I think that would be the most effective to patronize their businesses. And if they are, then schedule a day and time, and go and make it happen, and ideally make it a regular thing, maybe once a week, once a month, whatever people can do to whatever people are able to do. And then I hopefully, if possible, do it, maybe have like a rotation of different restaurants that you do, or expand and do multiple restaurants in one night. What I'm planning to do in Huntington Beach is make, there's enough people that go that we could probably fill up maybe 3 or 4 or 5 restaurants. So ideally, to do it all at once, so it would be hard to shut down, because they're going to be, they would have to get a lot of people out there. And then additionally, I think a lot of the people that I've met at events like I'm discussing would be resistant to being hauled out of a restaurant. And you could even reassure the restaurant owner that that you would be, that you and your friends, or the group of people that would be attending, would help them in not letting people in the door, perhaps. Or maybe I should just leave that sort of up to you guys or people who might be implementing this idea. So that's essentially it. Dinner for Schmucks campaign is what I'm going to call it. And feel free to get in touch with me. Any questions or comments, if you guys start putting these things together, document them, take pictures, videos, and hopefully we can sort of get a nationwide list, or kind of get people who are in the know, people who are patriots, sort of maybe create like a nationwide thing where you could maybe we'll start like a database or something where people can look up, hey, where's a cool restaurant that'll like almost like they did with speakeasies back in during Prohibition. So I appreciate, if you're watching this, I really appreciate you watching this video, and please share it to anybody who who's down with the cause. Thanks.